Learn to control anger. Summary of the book. Published by Audiobooks HUB. Introduction: The power of mastering your anger. Anger is a powerful emotion. It can fuel you to take action, help you stand up for yourself, and even protect you in moments of danger. But uncontrolled anger? That's a different story. It can damage relationships, cloud your judgment, and lead to decisions you'll regret. If you've ever felt your heart race, your hands tremble, or your words fly out of your mouth before you even realize what's happening, this book is for you. Maybe you lash out at others, or maybe you bottle up your anger until it explodes in the worst possible way. Either way, you know the consequences: broken relationships, guilt, and stress that lingers long after the moment has passed. But what if you could control your anger instead of letting it control you? What if you could feel the heat rising and, instead of reacting impulsively, channel that energy into something constructive? This book isn't about suppressing your anger. That doesn't work. It's about understanding it, managing it, and using it in a way that serves you rather than destroys you. You'll learn why anger happens, how to recognize its warning signs, and, most importantly, how to diffuse it before it takes over. By the end of this book, you'll have a set of powerful tools to help you stay calm in heated situations. Express anger in a healthy way. Identify the triggers that set you off. Use anger to drive positive change instead of destruction. This book is a short, practical guide, not a deep dive into psychology but a hands-on manual to help you start controlling your anger today. Think of it as a summary of the key principles from an in-depth book on anger management. If you apply the techniques, you will see results. Now, let's get started. Your journey to mastering anger begins here. Chapter 1: Understanding Anger, Why We Get Mad. Anger isn't just an emotion, it's a response deeply wired into our survival instincts. When something threatens us, frustrates us, or feels unjust, our brain kicks into defense mode. Our heart beats faster, adrenaline surges, and our body prepares to fight or flee. But in modern life, most threats aren't life-threatening. They're traffic jams, rude comments, or unmet expectations. The science behind anger. Anger originates in the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for emotions and survival instincts. When triggered, it bypasses rational thinking and sends a react now signal to your body. That's why you sometimes say or do things in anger that you later regret. However, anger itself isn't bad. It only becomes a problem when it's excessive, destructive, or misdirected. The different types of anger. Not all anger looks the same. Understanding its forms will help you identify your own patterns. Explosive anger. You react instantly, often yelling, slamming doors, or even becoming physically aggressive. Passive-aggressive anger. You don't express your anger directly, but let it out through sarcasm, silent treatment, or subtle jabs. Repressed anger. You bottle it up, pretending everything is fine, until one day, it all erupts unexpectedly. What triggers your anger? Everyone has different triggers, but common ones include feeling disrespected or ignored, being stuck in frustrating situations, like traffic or long lines, unmet expectations, from yourself or others, unresolved past wounds. Exercise. Keep a journal for 1 week and write down what makes you angry. Note the situation, your reaction, and how you felt afterward. This will help you recognize patterns and triggers. The cost of uncontrolled anger. Uncontrolled anger can damage relationships, increase stress and anxiety, harm your physical health, leading to high blood pressure, heart problems, and weakened immunity. Make you say or do things you regret. The good news: you can take control. The goal is not to eliminate anger but to manage it effectively. In the next chapters, you'll learn practical strategies to control your anger, rewire your brain's responses, and turn anger into a productive force instead of a destructive one. Ready? Let's move on to the next step. Chapter 2: Recognizing the warning signs of anger. Anger doesn't appear out of nowhere. It builds up, sometimes slowly, sometimes in an instant. The key to controlling your anger is recognizing it before it takes over. If you can spot the warning signs early, you have a chance to diffuse it before it explodes. How anger develops. Anger follows a pattern. It starts small, grows, and eventually reaches a breaking point. The sooner you catch it, the easier it is to stop. Trigger. Something happens that upsets you: an insult, a mistake, a broken promise. Physical reaction. Your body responds, heart rate increases, muscles tense, breathing gets shallow. Emotional build-up. Negative thoughts start to take over. You focus on how unfair the situation is. Explosion or suppression. Either you lash out, or you hold it in, only to let it explode later. By identifying where you are in this cycle, you can stop the escalation before it reaches the breaking point. Physical signs of anger. Your body warns you before your anger fully surfaces. Learn to notice these signals. Increased heart rate and breathing. Clenching your jaw or fists. Tightening of your chest, shoulders, or stomach. Feeling hot or flushed. Trembling hands or body. When you notice these signs, it's time to pause and take control. Emotional and mental signs of anger. Your thoughts also shift when anger starts to build. Blaming thoughts. They always do this to me. Exaggeration. This is the worst thing ever. Replaying the offense. I can't believe they said that. Imagining revenge. Next time, I'll show them. If these thoughts begin to dominate your mind, recognize that anger is taking control of you, and it's time to step back. Early intervention, stopping anger in its tracks. Once you notice the warning signs, take action immediately to prevent anger from escalating. Breathe deeply. Slow, deep breaths send signals to your brain to calm down. Step away. Physically remove yourself from the situation. Count to 10. It may sound simple, but it gives your rational brain time to regain control. Change your focus. Shift your thoughts to something neutral or positive. Exercise. For the next week, when you start feeling angry, stop and write down your early warning signs. The more aware you become, the easier it will be to intervene before anger takes over. In the next chapter, we'll explore powerful immediate techniques to control anger when it strikes. Chapter 3: How to cool down anger in the heat of the moment. Even if you recognize the warning signs of anger, sometimes it still builds up too fast. A rude comment, a frustrating situation, or a sudden wave of irritation can make you feel like you're about to explode. But the good news is, you can diffuse anger quickly, if you know how. In this chapter, you'll learn practical techniques to calm yourself down in the heat of the moment, so you don't say or do something you'll regret later. The 3-second rule: create a pause before reacting. Anger thrives on impulsive reactions. The more time you give yourself before responding, the more control you have. Whenever you feel anger rising, follow the 3-second rule. Pause. Don't react immediately. Stop yourself for just 3 seconds. Breathe. Take a deep, slow breath in through your nose, hold for a second, and exhale slowly through your mouth. Assess. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will my reaction help or hurt? Often, just this brief pause is enough to stop anger from escalating. The power of deep breathing. Your breathing changes when you're angry. It becomes fast and shallow. This tells your body that you're in danger, making your anger even worse. You can reverse this process by controlling your breath. Try the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 7 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. Repeat 3 to 5 times. This slows down your heart rate, calms your nervous system, and helps you regain control. Physical movement. Shake off the tension. Anger creates physical tension in your body. If you don't release it, it builds up. Try these quick movements to let it go. Shake it out. Loosen your hands, arms, and shoulders. Stretch. Open your chest, roll your shoulders, and relax your jaw. Walk away. If possible, step outside or move to another room for a few minutes. A short physical break can help reset your emotions. Mental distraction. Shift your focus. Anger keeps your mind locked onto the problem. The more you think about it, the stronger it gets. Instead, force your brain to focus on something else. Quick mental distraction techniques. Count backward from 100. This forces your brain to slow down. Name 5 things you see. Look around and list objects you notice. Think of a calming image. Imagine a peaceful place, like the ocean or a forest. By shifting your attention, you break anger's grip on your mind. Use humor to diffuse the situation. Anger and laughter cannot exist at the same time. If you can find something funny in the situation, your anger will weaken. Imagine the person who made you angry wearing a silly costume or speaking in a cartoon voice. Think of the situation as a ridiculous scene in a comedy movie. Smile, even if you don't feel like it. Your brain will follow your body's lead. This doesn't mean you should ignore serious issues, but a little humor can stop minor annoyances from ruining your mood. Practice zooming out. When you're angry, everything feels urgent and personal. But in reality, most things won't matter in a day, a week, or a year. Ask yourself, will I care about this next week? If my best friend were in my situation, what advice would I give them? How does this situation look from an outsider's perspective? By zooming out, you take away anger's power and see the situation more rationally. Emergency exit. Remove yourself from the situation. Sometimes, the best way to cool down is simply to leave. If a conversation is getting heated or a situation is overwhelming, say, "I need a few minutes to think. Let's take a break and talk later. I'll come back when I'm calmer." Walking away is not weakness, it's a sign of emotional intelligence. It gives you time to calm down and return with a clear mind. Exercise your personal anger emergency plan. Take a few minutes to create your own emergency anger plan. Write down your biggest anger triggers. What situations make you angry? Your body's warning signs. How does anger feel physically? Your go-to cooling strategies. Which techniques, breathing, humor, distraction, etc., work best for you? The next time anger strikes, use your plan immediately. Final thought, you are in control. Anger doesn't control you, you control it. By using these strategies, you can calm yourself before anger takes over. In the next chapter, we'll explore long-term techniques to prevent anger from building up in the first place. Chapter 4. Preventing anger before it starts. So far, you've learned how to recognize the warning signs of anger and how to calm yourself down in the moment. But wouldn't it be better if you didn't get angry in the first place? While you can't eliminate anger completely, you can reduce how often and how intensely it appears. In this chapter, we'll explore long-term strategies that help prevent anger from building up so you stay calm and in control more often. Why does anger build up? Anger doesn't always come from a single event. Sometimes, it accumulates over time, like water filling a glass. The more stress, frustration, and negative emotions you carry, the easier it is to overflow at the slightest trigger. To prevent anger, you need to do 3 things. Reduce daily stress. Less stress means less emotional pressure. Change your perspective. The way you see situations determines your emotional response. Adopt healthy habits. Certain lifestyle changes make you naturally calmer. Let's break these down. Reduce daily stress, your anger fuel. Many people get angry not because of a specific event, but because they're already overwhelmed. If you're exhausted, under pressure, or constantly irritated, small things will push you over the edge. Here's how to reduce stress before it turns into anger. Prioritize sleep. Lack of rest makes you irritable. Aim for 7 to 9 hours per night. Get moving. Exercise releases built-up tension. A 20-minute walk can work wonders. Declutter your schedule. If you're always rushing, stress will build up. Learn to say no. Find relaxation time. Even 10 minutes of deep breathing, meditation, or music can help. The less stress you carry, the harder it is for anger to control you. Change your perspective, rewiring your mind. Your thoughts create your emotions. The way you interpret events determines whether you feel angry or stay calm. Common thought patterns that trigger anger. Personalization, they did this to me on purpose. Black and white thinking, people are either respectful or completely rude. Catastrophizing, this is the worst thing ever. If you change how you think, you change how you react. How to reframe situations. Instead of assuming the worst, try these alternative thoughts. Someone cuts you off in traffic? Maybe they're rushing to the hospital. A rude customer service agent? They must be having a tough day. A friend forgets to call? They're probably just busy. By changing your perspective, you can reduce unnecessary anger and keep your emotions balanced. Build habits that keep you calm. Certain daily habits make you more patient and less reactive. These simple routines train your brain to stay calm under pressure. Best habits to prevent anger. Journaling. Write down your thoughts daily. It helps release frustration. Gratitude practice. Focusing on positives shifts your mindset. Daily exercise. Reduces stress and boosts mood. Breathing exercises. A few deep breaths every morning can set the tone for your day. Social support. Talking to friends or family keeps emotions balanced. By consistently practicing these habits, you'll naturally become a calmer person. Exercise. Identify your anger triggers and solutions. Take a moment to reflect on your life. What are your top 3 biggest anger triggers? E.g., traffic, slow people, work stress. What thoughts make your anger worse? E.g., they're so stupid or this is unfair. What are 3 actions you can take to reduce daily stress? E.g., go to bed earlier, take breaks, walk more. Write your answers down. The more aware you are, the better you can control your anger before it even starts. Final thought, take control before anger controls you. Anger is easier to prevent than to fix. By reducing stress, changing how you think, and building healthy habits, you can dramatically decrease how often anger appears in your life. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to communicate effectively when you're angry without losing control. Chapter 5: How to communicate without exploding. Anger itself isn't the problem, it's how we express it. Some people bottle it up, leading to silent resentment. Others lash out, saying things they regret. The key is controlled expression, communicating your feelings without losing control. In this chapter, you'll learn how to speak up, set boundaries, and handle conflict without making things worse. Why most people fail at communicating anger. When people get angry, they usually react in one of 3 unhealthy ways. Explosion, yelling, blaming, or saying hurtful things. Suppression, holding it in, pretending nothing is wrong. Passive aggression, sarcasm, silent treatment, or guilt tripping. All 3 make situations worse. Explosion damages relationships, suppression builds resentment, and passive aggression confuses people. Instead, the goal is assertive communication, expressing anger clearly and calmly without aggression or avoidance. Step 1: Pause before you respond. When anger hits, your body goes into fight mode. Your heart races, your muscles tense, and your brain focuses on attack. The problem? You're not thinking clearly. If you react immediately, you'll probably say something you regret. Quick techniques to pause before reacting. Take a deep breath. A single deep breath can stop impulsive reactions. Count to 10. Give yourself a few seconds to cool down. Excuse yourself. If possible, walk away before responding. The goal isn't to suppress anger but to create space before speaking. Even a few seconds can prevent an unnecessary fight. Step 2. Use the I statement formula. Instead of blaming the other person, which triggers defensiveness, express your emotions with I statements. Example of blaming. You never listen to me. You're so selfish. Example of an I statement. I feel frustrated when I'm interrupted because it makes me feel unheard. The formula is simple. Right arrow I feel, emotion, when, situation, because, reason. This way, you express your feelings without attacking the other person. Step 3. Set clear boundaries without threats. If someone repeatedly triggers your anger, it's time to set a boundary. But there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. Example of a threat. If you ever do this again, I'm done talking to you. Example of a boundary. If you keep yelling at me, I will step away from the conversation. The difference? Boundaries are about your actions, not controlling others. A boundary is a promise to yourself, not a demand for them to change. Step 4. Choose the right tone and body language. People don't just hear your words, they read your tone and body language. Use a calm, steady voice. Even if you're upset, don't raise your volume. Maintain eye contact. But avoid staring aggressively. Relax your hands. Avoid pointing, clenching fists, or crossing arms. If your words are calm, but your tone is sarcastic or your body language is aggressive, people will feel attacked, and the conversation will escalate. Step 5. Know when to walk away. Not every situation requires an immediate resolution. If someone is yelling, being disrespectful, or ignoring your boundaries, it's okay to disengage. Example. I want to resolve this, but I can't talk while we're both upset. Let's continue later. Walking away isn't giving up, it's protecting your peace. Exercise. Practice your responses. Think of a recent situation that made you angry. How did you respond? How could you handle it differently next time? Try writing your response using the I statement formula and a clear boundary. Practicing now will make it easier when anger strikes. Final thought, master your words, master your emotions. Anger doesn't have to destroy relationships. When you learn to pause, express yourself calmly, and set boundaries, you gain power over your emotions. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to deal with difficult people who constantly trigger your anger. Chapter 6. Dealing with people who trigger your anger. Some people seem to have a talent for making us angry. Maybe it's a boss who disrespects your time, a family member who criticizes everything you do, or a friend who always plays the victim. No matter how calm you try to be, these people seem to push your buttons. This chapter will teach you how to handle difficult people without losing control. Step 1. Identify your triggers. Before you can control your anger, you need to understand what sets you off. Ask yourself, who makes me the angriest? What do they say or do that triggers me? Why does it bother me so much? Sometimes, anger isn't about the other person, it's about an unresolved issue in us. Maybe their words remind you of a past wound. Maybe their actions make you feel disrespected. Recognizing this is the first step toward regaining control. Step 2. Stop letting them control you. Difficult people often know exactly how to make you react. They might provoke you on purpose. Some people enjoy pushing others to their limit. Guilt trip you. They manipulate your emotions to control you. Act like the victim. They never take responsibility for their actions. The secret? Refuse to react emotionally. Example, if someone constantly insults you, instead of snapping back, simply say, "I see what you're trying to do, but I'm not engaging in this." The moment they realize they can't control your emotions, they lose their power over you. Step 3. Use the gray rock method. Some people thrive on drama. The more you argue, the more they enjoy it. The best way to handle them? Become as boring as a gray rock. Instead of arguing, try giving short, unemotional answers. Okay. I see. Noted. Changing the subject. Responding with silence. Without emotional fuel, they'll lose interest and move on. Step 4. Set boundaries and stick to them. Difficult people often cross boundaries because they know they can. It's time to change that. Example, if someone keeps disrespecting you, say, "I won't continue this conversation if you keep insulting me." And if they continue, walk away. A boundary is only effective if you enforce it. Step 5. Stop expecting them to change. One of the biggest mistakes we make is expecting difficult people to change. Reality check, they won't, unless they want to. Trying to change them only frustrates you more. Instead of wasting energy, focus on controlling your response. Accept that they are who they are. Stop engaging in their drama. Protect your own peace. Exercise. Reframe your mindset. Think of the most difficult person in your life. Instead of seeing them as a source of stress, try to see them as a teacher. Ask yourself, what can I learn from dealing with them? How can I grow by staying calm around them? This mindset shift reduces frustration and puts you back in control. Final thought, you hold the power. Difficult people will always exist. But your anger is your choice. When you learn to stay calm, set boundaries, and stop reacting emotionally, they lose their power over you. In the next chapter, we'll discuss how to release anger in healthy ways, so it doesn't build up inside you. Chapter 7. Healthy ways to release anger. Suppressing anger doesn't make it disappear, it just builds up until it explodes in unhealthy ways. Some people hold it in for weeks, only to lash out over something small. Others turn to bad habits like drinking, overeating, or isolating themselves. The key to mastering anger isn't getting rid of it, it's learning how to release it in a way that's productive, not destructive. In this chapter, you'll learn powerful techniques to let go of anger before it controls you. Step 1. Move your body. Anger triggers your fight or flight response, flooding your body with adrenaline. If you don't release that energy, it stays trapped, making you feel tense, restless, or anxious. Try these physical ways to release anger. Go for a run or a brisk walk. Even 10 minutes can calm your nervous system. Hit a punching bag. A great way to physically let out anger. Do strength training. Lifting weights burns off frustration. Dance or do any movement you enjoy. Anything that gets your body moving works. Physical activity gives your anger somewhere to go, preventing it from turning into stress or resentment. Step 2, write it out, then let it go. If you're angry but don't want to say something you'll regret, write down everything you're feeling. Try this exercise. Grab a notebook or open a blank document. Write down exactly what made you angry, no filters, no judgment. After writing, decide what to do with it. Keep it to reflect later. Rip it up or delete it as a symbolic way of letting go. Writing helps you process emotions instead of acting on them impulsively. Step 3. Use controlled breathing. Anger speeds up your heart rate and breathing, making you feel out of control. Deep breathing slows everything down, bringing your body back to a calm state. Try the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 7 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. Repeat 4 times. Within minutes, you'll feel calmer and more in control. Step 4, scream. But in a safe space. Sometimes, the best way to release anger is to let it out physically, but in a way that doesn't harm anyone. Try this. Scream into a pillow. Shout in your car with the windows rolled up. Go somewhere private and let out a loud yell. It sounds silly, but letting out a scream can be surprisingly effective. Step 5. Talk it out with someone you trust. Keeping anger bottled up can make it grow. Talking to someone who understands can help you see the situation more clearly. Who to talk to? A close friend who listens without judging. A mentor who can offer guidance. A therapist or coach if the anger feels overwhelming. But be careful, don't just vent endlessly. Instead, focus on. Right arrow understanding your anger. Why did this upset me so much? Right arrow finding solutions. How can I handle this differently next time? Step 6. Turn anger into action. Anger isn't always bad. It can be a powerful motivator when used correctly. Instead of dwelling on anger, ask yourself, how can I turn this frustration into something positive? What action can I take to fix or improve this situation? If someone disrespected you, set a clear boundary. If you're frustrated at your job, start looking for better opportunities. If you're angry at yourself, use that energy to create change. Instead of letting anger control you, use it as fuel to improve your life. Exercise your anger release plan. Think about a recent time you felt really angry. Now, create your anger release plan by choosing 1 or 2 techniques from this chapter to try next time. Write it down. When I feel angry, I will underscore. If I need extra help, I will talk to underscore. By having a plan, you won't feel trapped in anger. You'll know exactly what to do to release it in a healthy way. Final thought, let go, don't hold on. Anger is natural, but holding on to it is a choice. When you learn to release it in a healthy way, you free yourself from stress, resentment, and regret. In the next chapter, we'll talk about how to train your mind to stay calm, even in situations that would normally make you furious. Chapter 8. Training your mind to stay calm under pressure. Anger often feels automatic, like an uncontrollable reaction to a stressful situation. But the truth is, You can train your mind to stay calm, even in moments of extreme pressure. Think about people who handle intense situations without losing their temper: top athletes, elite soldiers, skilled negotiators. What do they have in common? They've conditioned their minds to remain in control. In this chapter, you'll learn how to do the same. Step 1. Shift from reacting to responding. Most people react instantly when they feel angry, without thinking. Reacting equals impulsive, emotional, often regrettable. Responding equals thoughtful, controlled, intentional. Try this. Next time you feel anger rising, pause and ask yourself, do I need to react right now? What's the best way to handle this? This small pause creates space for better choices. Step 2. Use the 3-second rule. When anger hits, count to 3 before saying or doing anything. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what outcome do I want here? Choose your response intentionally. Even 3 seconds can prevent an outburst you'll regret. Step 3. Reframe the situation. Anger often comes from how we interpret a situation, not the situation itself. Example. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Your first thought, that idiot did it on purpose. You get mad. New thought, maybe they didn't see me. Maybe they're rushing to the hospital. You stay calm. Reframing helps you stop taking things personally and respond with logic, not emotion. Step 4. Practice emotional detachment. Highly calm people don't absorb negativity, they observe it without getting pulled in. Try this mental trick. When someone triggers you, imagine yourself as a third-party observer watching the situation from the outside. Instead of "I'm furious," think interesting. I feel anger rising. Instead of "this is unfair," think let's see how I can handle this best. This technique helps you stay in control instead of letting emotions drive you. Step 5. Lower your overall stress levels. Anger is harder to control when you're already stressed. The more calm and balanced your daily life is, the easier it is to handle tense moments. Build a calm foundation with these habits. Daily breathing exercises, 5 minutes a day, can make a big difference. Regular physical activity reduces built-up tension. Good sleep, lack of sleep makes emotional control harder. Mindfulness or meditation trains you to stay present and non-reactive. If your baseline is calm, anger won't take over so easily. Step 6. Use visualization to prepare for triggers. Athletes visualize success before big games. You can do the same for staying calm in stressful situations. Try this. Think of a situation that usually makes you angry. Close your eyes and imagine yourself handling it calmly. Visualize yourself pausing, breathing, and responding with control. This mental practice rewires your brain to react differently in real life. Exercise. Build your personal calm strategy. Write down your plan. When I start feeling angry, I will underscore. Before responding, I will pause and underscore. My new mindset when dealing with stress is Training your mind takes time and practice, but over time, staying calm will become your default mode. Final thought, the power of a trained mind. Mastering your anger isn't about suppressing it, it's about controlling how you express it. When you train your mind to stay calm under pressure, you gain a huge advantage in life. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to repair relationships that have been damaged by past anger. Chapter 9, Healing Relationships Damaged by Anger. Anger doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone around you. A single moment of rage can destroy trust, friendships, marriages, and careers. But here's the good news, damaged relationships can be repaired. In this chapter, we'll explore how to apologize effectively, rebuild trust, and prove through actions, not just words, that you've changed. Step 1. Take full responsibility. Most people give weak apologies like, "I'm sorry, but you made me mad. I wouldn't have yelled if you hadn't." These don't work because they shift blame. The right way, take 100% responsibility for your reaction. I was wrong to lose my temper. I take full responsibility. Heavy check mark, I regret what I said, and I want to make it right. Owning your mistakes shows maturity and sincerity. Step 2. Apologize in a meaningful way. A good apology has 3 key parts. Acknowledge the harm you caused. I realize that my anger hurt you. Take full responsibility. I have no excuse. That was my mistake. Commit to change. I'm working on controlling my temper, and I want to do better. Avoid over-apologizing. Saying I'm sorry over and over can seem fake. Instead, show change through actions. Step 3. Give the other person time. Just because you are ready to move on doesn't mean they are. If someone isn't ready to forgive yet, say, "I understand if you need time. I just want you to know that I regret what happened, and I'm working on being better." Respect their space. Trust takes time to rebuild. Step 4. Prove your change through actions. People don't believe words, they believe patterns of behavior. If you want to regain trust, consistently, speak calmly in stressful situations. Stay in control, even when frustrated. Show emotional maturity in everyday life. Over time, people will see that your anger is under control, and trust will naturally return. Step 5. Set up guardrails to prevent future damage. Once trust is rebuilt, protect it. Make a personal promise. I will never insult or yell at someone I care about. If I feel anger rising, I will pause and take a deep breath before speaking. Being proactive stops future damage before it happens. Final thought, relationships can heal, but only if you take action. Anger may have hurt your relationships in the past, but you have the power to repair and strengthen them. In the final chapter, we'll focus on how to maintain lifelong control over your emotions, so you never let anger take over again. Chapter 10. Mastering lifelong control over anger. Controlling anger isn't a one-time fix, it's a lifelong skill. If you don't actively manage it, old habits will return. The key to success is long-term consistency. In this final chapter, you'll learn how to make emotional control a permanent part of your life. Step 1. Create a daily anger control routine. Just like fitness, Emotional control requires regular practice. If you don't train your mind, you'll slip back into old patterns. Here's a simple daily routine. Morning. Start your day with 5 minutes of deep breathing or meditation to set a calm tone. Remind yourself, today, I will respond, not react. During the day, notice small frustrations and practice pausing before reacting. If something triggers you, use the 3-second rule: pause, breathe, then respond. Evening reflection. Ask yourself, how did I handle stress today? If you lost control, learn from it. What could I have done better? Step 2. Keep your stress levels low. Anger is harder to control when you're stressed. Managing stress makes staying calm much easier. Prevent stress buildup with these habits. Get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. Exercise regularly, even a short walk helps. Limit caffeine, alcohol, and sugar. These make emotions unstable. Take short breaks when you feel overwhelmed. A relaxed mind resists anger more easily. Step 3. Recognize your early warning signs. Anger doesn't appear instantly, it builds up. Learning to spot early warning signs helps you stop anger before it explodes. Common warning signs include faster heartbeat, tense muscles, especially in the jaw or fists, feeling hot or restless, racing thoughts, this isn't fair, I can't believe this. When you notice these signs, act fast. Take 3 deep breaths. Step away if needed. Remind yourself, I control how I respond. Step 4. Surround yourself with positive influences. Your environment affects your emotions. If you're around negative, aggressive people, you'll absorb their energy. Make conscious choices about your surroundings. Spend more time with calm, emotionally intelligent people. Avoid toxic conversations that fuel negativity. Consume content that promotes peace and emotional balance, books, podcasts, etc. Your mind reflects what you feed it, choose wisely. Step 5. Celebrate your progress. No one is perfect. Even after mastering anger control, you'll still have moments of frustration. The goal is progress, not perfection. Whenever you handle a situation calmly, take a moment to acknowledge it. I would have exploded before, but today, I stayed in control. I'm getting better every day. Recognizing your wins motivates you to keep improving. Final thought, your anger no longer controls you. By reaching this point, you've learned how to understand your anger and where it comes from. Stay in control during stressful moments. Repair relationships damaged by past outbursts. Maintain lifelong emotional stability. Anger isn't your enemy, it's a powerful force that, when controlled, can be turned into strength and confidence. The next step is simple: keep practicing, stay consistent, and never stop growing. You've got this.